If you look in the Georgia Tech media guide next to the name Tony Zenon, you see the hometown listing of Albany, Georgia. But that doesn't tell the full story. Tony actually was born and raised in New Orleans, and that's where we pick up today's feature spotlight on senior A-back Tony Zenon. So Tony, where did you grow up in New Orleans?
New Orleans East, right off of Bullitt. My family, we had a pretty decent sized house in New Orleans East, and that's where we lived, but I hung out downtown right off of Broad Street. I hung out in the 5th Ward with my grandmother a lot because I had my cousins that lived down there and a lot of family basically.
So what do you remember about the time leading up to Hurricane Katrina when you guys first found out that there might be this hurricane coming for New Orleans?
Well, man, to tell you the truth, New Orleans always have hurricanes, and I've stayed down there several times with my family because, you know, it wasn't too bad. It was just a lot of rain, and, you know, you'll have maybe 3 feet of water, but it wasn't anything bad, you know.
Downtown New Orleans right now is 135 miles. The system is steady state. It's moving right up toward the New Orleans, and the forecast remains on track. This is a storm of historic proportions.
I believe that my dad, he, you know, actually decided that we need to leave because they were saying that it's going to be pretty bad. And we just got in the car and decided to head to Houston to his sister's house. And getting on the road, we found out that we couldn't head that way. We had to make up a plan B and ended up in Albany.
And how old were you at the time?
13.
I mean, did you realize the danger of the situation?
Nah, man, not at all. I probably slept half the way, so I wasn't, I mean, it was a lot of rain, but I didn't think it was going to be anything bad. We didn't pack anything but maybe like a t-shirt or two, and I brought my video game because I always like to play video games, so and that's really about it. So we was guessing that we was going to head back in probably a day or two and be back to our normal
life. So that time in between though, when you're just in limbo in Albany and you don't know if you're ever going back to New Orleans again, what was that like?
I mean, it was kind of sad, man, because I knew I had a lot of family down there, and I knew a lot of my folks that stayed in the Superdome. And, you know, seeing all the coverage on the news, it was crazy because people were killing each other over like food and all kind of crazy things going on, and I didn't know if they were still alive. I didn't know what to think. So that was kind of, you know, sad and worrisome. But after a while, we kind of got in touch with them and found out that everyone was okay. And but I still knew that I couldn't go back to New Orleans because it wasn't anything to go back to. So I guess I just had to adjust to Albany.
And what was that like? Because you'd spent a lot of your childhood time there.
Yeah, it was devastating, man, because it kind of hit me that I couldn't go back, you know, for a while. And but at the same time, you know, me being at the school that I was at, it was a great school as far as education and playing ball, and also a scholarship came out of it. So.
Yeah, would Tony Zenon be at Georgia Tech if not for Hurricane Katrina?
I don't think so, man, because when I was in New Orleans, LSU was my favorite school, and I always wanted to go there, you know, but, you know, coming to Georgia and seeing Georgia Tech and them recruiting me, I have a new home now.
But will New Orleans always hold a special place in your heart?
Absolutely, man, because I still have family down there. I go down there whenever I can, you know. It's not the easiest drive, but whenever I can, I like to go back, especially for like Mardi Gras and different holidays and to see my family.
So you've been back, but going back to play Tulane and the game that you love, do you think it'll be a little emotional?
I'm sure. I mean, as of right now, I'm just looking at it as another game, but I know once I see my family and everything, and I'm sure the emotion's gonna come, and I'm just gonna try to keep those calm and just try to be settled and just play the game.
Dropping back, they'll look to throw, it is Zenon, wide open, 40, 30, Tony Zenon, 20, they won't catch him, touchdown, first play.
When you look back on this journey and how you arrived at Georgia Tech, it's an interesting story. I mean, how do you view it? Do you view it as turning a negative into a positive? When you look back at the life of Tony Zenon that led you to Tech, how do you view it?
I took it as a positive thing because I'm at a better school. I got a scholarship out of it. I'm playing a game that I love. And I'm also getting a degree at one of the top schools in the nation. And, you know, everything happens for a reason, you know, and I believe that. So I'm just going to take it as a positive and just kind of learn from it and just continue going from there.